So he got up and went into his father while he was still the long way off. His father saw him and was filled with compassion for him. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him, and kissed him. Luke 15:20. On December 9th, 2024, 조선일보 poignant event involved on handwriting the letter found in the hands of the deceased North Korean soldier, expressing the longing and the love for his mother while he awaited the Ukraine conflict. The letter to reveal the soldier's deep emotions and the longing for his mother while he spent his birthday far from the home. And the event reflects the deep human emotions and the longing and the separation and the universal desire, the familial love and the connection. Hey folks, today we gather together to meditating on the profound teachings of the Bible. The found look at the 15, the verse 20. Bible said, he ran to his son, threw his arms and around him, and kissed him. And as I reflect on our touching story about the longing and the love, let's turn into our teachings of the Bible, found the solace, the land, the understanding of the God. In biblical time, the story about the prodigal sons illustrated deep compassion and the love of the father of his son. Despite of the son's mistakes, the father's still embracing and emphasizing and symbolizing the unconditional love and forgiveness. Today, many people experience separation and a longing for the familial love. Our reflected our soldier, the letter as well. God's compassion embraced, offered the comfort, solace to those who feel the distance and the lost. We can find a similar one to that in the Bible. Joseph and his brother's story. Genesis chapter 41, then verse 1 to the 15. Despite the being sold into the slavery by his brother, Joseph still forgives them and embraced them with the love. Finally said to the brother, am I in the place of the God? That's the touched story here. Hannah's the prayer for the children, same thing, the 1 Samuel chapter 9 and verse 9 to the 20. Hannah's the deep longings for the child and her subsequent the joy in the God's provision illustrate the depth of the human the emotion and the God the response. We have in modern times so many family reunification as the comes and go. Many families around the world experience the separation due to war, migration, or other circumstances. The stories about the family being reunified and the emotional responses they evoke mirror the deep longing and the love seen in the soldier's letter as well. But the human the longing and the divine embrace, little slight difference. So we're going to mention about here. Soldier's letter highlight the human longings, the separation, the pain, the being away from the loved one. The Bible teaching slight to emphasize that God's unconditional love and the comfort of his embracing, offering the solace to those who are lost and distant. That is applied to the one or everyone. It is even include the malfunction family as well. Unluckily, deceased the soldier known and mother's solace, but none known the God the solace. So God's solace is very important to that. Spiritually returning into the God The seeking to his embrace can bring the comfort and reassurance during the times of the separation and the longing or any time. So difficult time and encourage act of the compassion, reconciliation, reflecting God's love, forgiveness. Even if you are a soldier in the battle of the world, those one who are arrested in the prison, they can have that same things, God's love and compassion anywhere, anytime. That is very important to that. So we do have a quotation by the notable figures. Mother Teresa said, the hunger for the love is much more difficult to remove than the hunger for the bread. So the love hunger is much complicated to remove that. Henry Newman said, the greatest gift we can give each other, it is a gift of our beloved one. So beloved gift is coming from is much valuable. The C.S. Lewis said, though your feelings come and go, but God's love for us does not. That means human, any compassion or longing comes and go, but God's love, it will be sustained forever. So problems here, the feeling is kind of the distance, isolated from the loved one or from the God, okay? Human being or gods, no matter what. Solution could be we can encourage individuals to seek the God to embrace and find the solace in his compassion and love while we fostering the community connection or support. So that is the conclusion here. So now we're talking about that North Korean soldier who died like this. He was dragged into another country's war, died without the hearing of the gospel, hearing of the God's the solace. And he was born without knowing the eternal life as well. So eventually he fell into dark hell where he couldn't see nothing. How miserable it is. We as compatriots, we must save those kind of the person. So let me explain our specific ministry plan of the new M here to apply those cases. In North Korea, society is strictly divided by the 5 social classes. Highest class social class is known as the Baekdu bloodline, which consists of the family relative of the Kim Il-sung. Every single member, it could be Kim Il-sung bloodline line here. This class holds all major positions in that North Korea and monopolize the power and wealth. This class is divided by the 5 levels. First one, Baekdu, we already mentioned about that. Second one, the revolutionary family, which is the participate the same revolutionary activity with the Kim Il-sung. Revolutionary comrades, which is the on the bottom of the revolutionary family. And the fourth one, ordinary citizen, just nothing but just a simple citizen here. But the last one, hostile class. That's I'm like emphasize this one, the individual who's opposite the political system of the country, which is North Korea. And not even those person. Anyone to one of the member of the family coming down to South Korea, they are designated as like a hostile class. They've been many decades been torturing because the last one. So those structures very similar to Joseon. The Joseon is 5 classes here. They sustained 500 years with that social classes structure. Let me explain the mission plan for the missionary professionals here. We do establish the 400 overseas bases as a business missionary. If possible, we can produce and export locally suitable products primarily to the United States. To learn the sustainability in the hosting countries, we will all missionary, we will all manufacture and export the item for the United States. And then we will learn survival in free market economic system. And then we will achieve finally financial self-sufficiency. That is our goal. Once we achieve this one, we will establish Christian community services in hosting country. First, we want to do the free meal distribution. Second, medical missionary center. Third one, will mission seminary school and churches. And then fourth one, the community volunteer activities, so on and so on, will continue to do work at overseas location. But once it collapsing, North Korea collapsed, then first those our overseas the bases, we will immediately to as action from 200 out of the 400 bases, we will deploy the 10% of the professional missionaries from overseas bases to North Korea immediately, according to the designated our own North Korea regional code. Overseas missionary will continue to establish the same professional missionary in North Korea, exact the same as in overseas basis. We will export the product item to United States until North Korea bases reach financial self-sufficiency, same as overseas here. That means overseas will be financially independent, but North Korea will be soon the financially independent as well. And then target our groups is going to be focusing on the lowest social status in North Korea, known as hostile classes and ordinary citizens. As an empowerment plan is that after completing the self-sufficiency basis in North Korea, we will select re-educating North Korean people to fulfill the mission of the gospel return to the Israel. As a member of a North Korean missionary, we will seek to survive resilience. We will utilize their DNA, strong DNA, and then survive arduous march, demonstrating strong survival resilience. They will become the 400 strength missionary like Gideon's the warrior. Then could be North Korean Gideon's warrior. Biblical prophecy will be done to the facilitating the fulfillment of the prophecy of the gospel, returning to the Israel from the where it originated by North Korean Gideon's warrior. What will happen if we do not prepare like this? This is, I guess, as a Christian, we do not prepare at this moment. The government is not ready, not even think about this further vision. So nobody gonna prepare in South Korea. What will happen? So I think that these things are happening. Obviously, first thing, things that are rich in the Gangnam, handed with the corrupted official, will buy the old land of the North Korea. Unification will accelerate. Rich become to even richer. This is terrible. Secondly, rich in the South Korea will become the more morally corrupt, and some will marry or many marry with the North Korean beauties and turning into the Godom and Somora. The bloodline of each family will be confused. It will be impossible to tell who is the brother, who is the younger brother. All pure bloodline of the North Korean will be ruined. Thirdly, hostile class will be suffer more than before unification. We will not obtain the North Korean Gideon's the warrior. That means their strong DNA Christian is not gonna able to obtain this one. If it is happen, it would be better for North Korea collapsed and become the subordinated to the China. That means that giving away to China. However, result that South Korea, it become the relatively small and sooner become the Chinese territory. So this is not the alternative. Only alternative we have. Embrace a nurse career above method. Leave this message today. This one lesson in your heart, keep it to your life. And each day, think about it. And with the faith and trust in God guidance here, we will guide us in your heart. Okay. Have a blessed week and ahead. See ya.